Hey guys, how are you? I just wanted to take a quick second and make a quick video about following up. I think us as coaches, we're so busy getting wrapped up in our conversations, we're talking to people, and a lot of times what happens is we tend to follow up and we tend to forget that really the success lies in the follow ups. So I wanted to share with you a couple of tips about, following up, and some key points to remember here are why, what, and who. Okay, so what I mean by this is why. Why do we want to follow up? Well, it's important to remember why, because we don't want to think that we're bugging them, because we're not bugging people. We would be doing a disservice by not inviting people. And at the same time, sometimes we have to ask more than once because it takes a few times for people to really get it in their head. Think of it as going out with some girlfriends and somebody mentioning, this new, let's just say, mascara that they found and that they really like. Well, the next week or the next month goes by and somebody else mentions that same product. Okay, so maybe that's when you're going to finally think about what it is that they're talking about, because people automatically, they just don't earn your trust right away. It takes a little while. It takes some time. So it's important to remember that, okay? So don't think that you're bugging people. So the other point that I wanted to bring out is what do we follow up on, okay? We need to make sure that we're following up on being organized. Because if we're not organized, what's going to happen is we're going to be all over the place. And it took me a while to remember this. It took me a while to get my momentum going. And what really helped was just building the momentum by being consistent in tracking who I'm talking to, about what, and what we talked about. Because when we go back to a conversation with somebody, I like to bring up our last conversation that we had. And if I don't bring up our last conversation that we had, they're going to think that I don't care about them. Or simply, I'll just go to their Facebook page or their Instagram and I'll check out what they're doing. And I start the new conversation, the follow-up, with a compliment and then a comment. And I end it with a question. So, hey Sally, I saw that you went on vacation this weekend. How was it? Or, hey Sally, I saw that you went on vacation. It looked like so much fun. You guys looked like you had a blast. How are you doing? So compliment, comment, question. So you want to be organized. You want to know who you're talking to and about what. So don't forget anybody either, because if you're not tracking people, you're going to forget conversations. You're going to forget who you came across, and you don't want to skip out on that, okay? So who to follow up with? You follow up with everybody. Everybody and anybody. So if you're like me, I can simply start a conversation with somebody I don't know, but then I get to the point where I get really shy and I want to be alone. But anyway, so you want to be open to anyone and just start genuine conversations, okay? Don't automatically be like, hey, do you want to buy from me? No, we don't do that as coaches. We genuinely get to know people. We form our relationships. And what I mean by form, like we talked about last time, we find out about, their family, their occupation, what they do for fun, just anything. Just get to know anything about them, okay? Get to know their needs. Get to know their interest. And, then we can throw in something that we have to offer once we know it's the right time, okay? So don't start off by just asking. You want to genuinely get to know them and build that relationship. We have to be willing to invest the energy and the time on building these relationships. I know it's not easy, but it's rewarding, and you will never know who you're connecting with until way later on, and it feels good to make a difference in somebody's life and know that you have that tool to offer them and help them. And if you're getting to know them better and you're getting to know their needs and what they need help with, they're going to trust you. They're going to trust you because you took that time and you got to know them. And if they say no, they might say yes later on. Point is you don't want to seem pushy. You don't want to seem desperate, but you want to seem friendly and positive, and no matter what, you want to be there for them, okay? So when do we want to follow up with people? We want to follow up anytime, okay? Anytime there's a backstage pass, anytime we have a conversation with somebody, you can use your tracker. I use Teamsy, but if you're using good old pen, paper, what you want to do is you want to write down when you want to follow up with them. So if you invited them to a backstage pass, follow up with them the next day. If you invited them to a challenge group, I normally follow up within 2 to 3 days if I invite to a challenge group. Once I give them some more information, I have gotten to know them better already. I know what they need help with. I have all the tools, or they have all the tools that I've given them, and I'll follow up 2 to 3 days later. And sometimes I even follow up a week later. It just depends, because again, sometimes you have to follow with people more than once, and if they say no, not right now, then I follow up a month later. If they say absolutely no, then you know what, you just have to bless and release them, because some people you just can't do anything. But later on down the road, 6 months from today, you can ask them again. But it's important to still stay in that relationship, okay? You can't just stop talking to somebody for 2-3 months and stop spending a little energy by just giving them a few compliments and liking their page and just showing some kind of engagement, and then contact them 6 months down the road. That just seems a little desperate to me, right? So it's important to remember to always remain in somebody's circle, not in their circle, but just present in their life, because we're not at the top of their priority, you guys. So we have to stay consistent with our posting and with our inviting and with our building relationships, okay? When you have a backstage pass that you've invited somebody to, you want to follow up with that person the next day and be like, hey, Sally, did you get a chance to catch the backstage pass last night? Sometimes I'll be like, hey, Sally, did you get a chance to catch the backstage pass? What did you think of it? Because I want to add that question at the end. And I'm just going to tell you right now, some people, that's the last thing on their mind. Or a lot of posts all at once, it overwhelmed them. It doesn't matter. But most people will be like, yeah, a little confusing, or, they'll have more questions. But you just want to be ready to answer anybody's questions and really be able to answer their hesitations and just clear the air and get them every single kind of information that they are kind of seeking, because coaching really isn't for everybody. But again, you have to bless and release those that absolutely say it's not for them, because you can't get sucked into it, okay? It has nothing to do with you. You have to completely separate that emotional energy that you're getting from them saying no. Because like I said, it's not for everybody, but the people that they say they want to do it, you need to run with them. You need to run with the willing, because that's what I do. Okay, so don't be pushy. Always follow up after a backstage pass, after an invite. You follow up that next day, okay? Say they don't answer, or say they said they haven't looked at it. You want to be sure to give them specific instructions, okay, on how to go back to the post. You can even go into the post yourself and you can tag them, and I'm referring to a backstage pass. So you can go back to the post and you can tag them and be like, hey, Sally, this is post 1. Hey, Sally, this is post 2. Or, whatever it is that they need help. You just need to reiterate whatever is on their mind and be sure that you're passing your information back and forth to them. So you can follow up with them again. And what I normally do here is, if there's no response, I say, hey, Sally, I'm not sure if you got my message last night I sent you, or hey, Sally, I'm not sure that you got my message from a couple of days ago, but I wanted to follow up with you in case, my message got lost somewhere, but I was just making sure I wasn't forgetting to give you any information that you needed. Question mark. Okay, so you wait for Sally to respond, and you give it a good sufficient amount of time. I try not to be stalkerish. I try not to be pushy. And what I do on that third follow-up is I say, hey, Sally, how are you doing? I just wanted to follow up with you one more time because I wanted to make sure that I was giving you all of the information that you needed. Okay, so you wait. And I also try to add in that last follow-up, I try to add that, hey girl, if you changed your mind about this, or if it's not for you, it's okay. Just let me know either way, because you want to make sure that they don't feel like you are going to have some kind of, feeling against them. You want to take that emotional engagement off of them. You want them to be able to be comfortable with you and let you know their true feelings, okay? Because there's no feelings, no hurt aside. And I always try to make that known with anybody that I'm talking to after I've invited them, when I'm following up with them, that you know what, if you changed your mind, it's okay. Either way, let me know, because you want them to be open with you. So that's just a little bit about how I do my inviting process when it comes to inviting to challenge groups, the business opportunity. But my best advice out of all of this here is to just be you, be real. And I prefer to just have open-ended conversations with questions, anything that you can do to keep the conversation going. If somebody starts telling you about the price, or if they start telling you about their time, or what, any kind of excuse, you want to be sure that you can respond to them. And if you don't know exactly how to respond to them or what, you can always, take your time on responding to them. Again, you don't need to be sitting by your phone answering everybody's message right away, okay? Because you don't want to seem desperate, one. And two, you need to make sure that you're setting a schedule for yourself so that you can put all of your energy and your time into building those relationships, okay? All right, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.